And look over here, there's three signs. Hurricane Ian at the top, that's how high it got. Hurricane Milton and Hurricane Helene. And so they had, after those three floods, they got flooded in Hurricane Milton, the most recent. But they also flooded even worse in Hurricane Ian. So some of these people, after they rebuilt Hurricane Milton, with some more damage. So they voted. It was majority vote, not unanimous, but they all 20 different homeowners agreed with this village to elevate, so they wouldn't have to deal with that problem again. Doing 9 duplexes, which are 3,000 square feet each, and 2 cottages.
All at the same time.
All at the same time. They're all going up to 10.5 feet of clearance. It takes a massive amount of unified jacket machines to come up with all of the jacks at the same time. Before that, I think we're using about 6,000 wooden crib blocks. So all of that has to be brought out. They have to be dug down. First, we put all of our main beams in. We put our main beams underneath the channel iron. That's going to be permanent steel. We come in and dig down that cribbing to like where it's solid. Build it up to the main beams, get it all prepared. Then we come in and we cut all of the wooden columns, put all of our jacks in place. And then we bring our machines and hoses, crib jacks and crib bases, equipment that's designed and engineered for this particular purpose. And then it all comes up evenly. A lot of people thought that this little corner tucked away was resistant to hurricanes, but the last few years have proven that it's not. And historically, there have been hurricanes that have hit this area here. Beautiful area. People like the coastlines, but there are going to be hurricanes, and so we're working from Naples all the way up to Crystal River. What I'm finding is the houses that are on the ground level are kind of losing their value. But once people comply, they lift up, they elevate, they know they're not going to flood again. It greatly increases the value of the property. And those are the properties that people are buying. Those are the properties that are sought after. The ones that comply with all the new FEMA regulations as well as the codes with the city. So they're going to elevate up to about 11 foot. New decks, new landings, new steps. Bring hook it all back in. Utilize the underneath, which was just wooden. It was only about 2.5 or 3 feet off the ground before, so there's nothing really you could do with it. It's an option for a lot of people, and it's less costly than tearing down and building new. Another point is the taxes are kind of grandfathered in, and they remain the same, and they can only raise them up 4% a year. So it's not like you tear it down, you build a new house, they value it for millions of dollars, and then they charge you a huge amount in taxes. So this is a way to mitigate that tax cost.
As we've gone through the repairs, an awful lot of our single-family homes had to be elevated simply because of the repair project. They had to comply with FEMA-based flood elevation. But there were a lot of homes that passed the 50% test, so they were not required to elevate to FEMA. So obviously it's in the city's interest, in the community's interest, to encourage people to become more resilient vis-a-vis storm surge. So this is symbolic of that. I mean, this is a community of 12 homes, and they got together and self-funded. I mean, there are grant programs out there for home elevation, but in this case, it was self-funded, and they got together and did what was necessary to elevate from ground level to 11 feet above. And I think that's outstanding, and they will be more resilient in the future. And I think that will be an example around the island. Resilience is more than just elevation homes, but safety of our residents of primary importance, and this is safety. Ideally, in the event of a bad storms, we'd like everyone to evacuate, but not everyone can. And if people have to stay for one reason or another, we want them to be as safe as possible. Elevation will help them do that.
As everyone knows, after Ian, there was a crazy amount of storm surge that came across the island and flooded our particular village here, flooded almost 5 feet inside. We were already up 3.5 feet. So the surge was great here, and it completely devastated all of our buildings. We had to rebuild them, all of it, windows, roof, flooring, everything, electrical, plumbing. And that was supposed to have been a storm from 100 or 500 years, right? So we clearly learned that that wasn't the case with Helene and Milton that came in right after that. Helene flooded, but it wasn't. It didn't come close to coming into our homes. But Milton did. It came almost within inches, and so it was very sobering and to know that this isn't a 1 in 100, but it's happened already 3 in 2 years. So we came together quickly as a board, presented it to our owners, and did a little bit of lobbying with them just to talk about, hey, these are our choices, and we think this is it. We went and got some different quotes on what to do. We had to educate ourselves on that. We've been put together a committee of elevating, who we've been asking hard questions that we need to bring up and make sure that we can ensure doing. And then we got some, we got Davie Shoring, which seems to be the right contractor for the job to elevate. And then we found Gem Home Services, and they're fantastic, and we're super friendly with them now, and they've done a lot of work both internally and are doing all the external work post-elevation. Pre-elevation, they demoed everything, and then post-elevation, they're putting everything back together to make it look pretty. I don't think you can be, forever. They've been, homes built on the ground because they never saw any water. And when we bought here just before Ian, 6 months, and I asked sort of like in passing, I go, I know we're up 3.5 feet, is that enough? They go, we never had water here, right? Clearly that's not the case, and the longevity and resiliency is going to be elevated. There's a home going across the street that's up about 14 feet. I don't think there will be a new home built, certainly that are going to be elevated above the flood line of Ian. And so it is. I think it is, Marilyn. I think this gives hope the island that we can do it. There are government funds that are helping, people to do this. This was done pre-government funds, so it's a complete private initiative. And I'm grateful that our community came together to do that. So I do think we're a little bit of a beacon for what can be done on the island. It can be done along the coast. And you had to move quickly because as great as that we are going up today, we were hoping this was going to be done 2 months ago. That's building. That's how these things are. And we still have a lot of work to do. That's all the concrete. Whereas this looks great, but it's on Jenga blocks. We need to put concrete and flood. And if it starts raining and pouring, if we got named storms coming in, we're still at some risk here. But we have really good owners. We've got a really great working board. Long before I came on the board, it was working. So when Ian hit, we did a great job getting rebuilt. And so the engine was already moving and moving efficiently. So when we decided to do this, I think a lot of people were just more like, I can't believe we have to make another decision and to go through something this grandiose after we just rebuilt for 2 years.
Right.
So I think it's a little bit of luck of who's in your condo association.
Yeah.
And I think that, like anything, if you've got we're a small little government, but if you work together with the benefit of a wide range of people, and we're all different. We live all over the country. It's a great opportunity for us to come together and do something that's not only smart, great for Sanibel, great for our peace of mind, but we work together to make it work. And I think the history of that allowed for us to have another win after Ian with doing this project.